folks, Dr. Robert Barrington here with some more nutrition advice. I wanted to do a very quick video today. It's a very hot day here in the United Kingdom. We've had one of those June days that we get very rarely, but when we get them, we really enjoy them. I'm sure everybody's been enjoying the sun. And so I wanted to do a video on water. Obviously, everybody knows to maintain their hydration. It's a very important part of health. But I wanted to talk about a certain aspect of water that I actually think about quite a lot. And I think it's an aspect that isn't talked about enough. There have been a lot of studies that have looked at water and how it helps weight loss. And I always find these studies very interesting. I find, talking to people that I think, generally people don't drink enough water. We really should be drinking more often. We tend to drink other things. And I know that in recent years, people have tended to carry around bottles of water and there is more of a trend to drinking water. But I still think, particularly on hot days, people do become dehydrated. And it's always made me think about how that affects people's ability to lose weight. A lot of studies have looked at drinking water, and those studies generally come to the conclusion that those people that drink more water, those people who have water supplemented into their weight loss programs when they're being studied, they tend to lose more body weight. And there was a study that I recall off the top of my head. They gave two identical weight loss diets to two groups, but one group was simply asked to consume half a litre of water with each meal, and that group lost considerably more body fat. So the water had some kind of an effect to increase the amount of body fat that the subjects lost. And I've always been very interested by this. There have been a number of explanations that have been given for this. And I think the most likely explanation is that everything we put into our bodies when we consume it has to equilibrate to the same body temperature as our cells. So when we drink cold water, that water has to be heated. It needs to be at 37 degrees, the same as our body cells, in order to be able to be metabolically used by the cells. And therefore there is a requirement of the body to heat the water as it's in our guts and as it enters our extracellular space. Now that heating obviously requires energy, and in order to be able to heat something, a heat transfer, there has to be a heat is always transferred from a hot object to a cold object, so that the energy would always transfer from the cells to the water, and that's a transfer of energy which would over time would considerably increase the amount of if you're drinking lots of cold water, but it considerably increase your metabolic rate. There have been studies that have tried to estimate this. There have been studies where they've given cold water to subjects to estimate how many extra calories you burn by drinking cold water. I don't think anybody really knows, but there was a study that looked at the consumption of half a litre of cold water, and they suggested that it would increase the metabolic rate by about 30 calories. That's 30 kilocalories. So it's not an inconsequential amount, and obviously over the course of a day, drinking multiple cold drinks over a week, over a year, that may have enough of an effect to cause to tip the balance in favor of weight loss. So this is something that I've always been interested in, particularly when it's a really hot, scorching day like today. I always think, everybody gets dehydrated. It's very difficult to actually keep up with consuming enough water. Even if you have a drink with you all day, you tend still even to get dehydrated. And modern life is it makes it very difficult for us to drink continually. Many of us have jobs where we can't drink all the time, and there's air conditioning that dries your continually drying you out. And so there are a lot of reasons why people do become dehydrated. And I just thought this was it was on my mind because of the heat of the day, and I've been trying to drink more water, and I was drinking had a drink with ice cubes in it, and I was thinking, how much energy will it take my body to be able to heat that water in order to be able to use it. And it's always been a fascinating topic, because I don't think many people really think about things like this and really understand that this can have an effect on your weight loss. So for about half a litre of cold water, you're going to use about 30 kilocalories in order to be able to heat that water to get it to 37 degrees. And obviously that heat comes from your cells. It passes into the water, and therefore the cells have to regenerate the heat to maintain their temperature at 37 degrees, and that's where the energy comes from. So that's the law of thermodynamics would suggest that that would happen. We know that that water will eventually be at 37 degrees, the same as your body temperature, because that's the only way it could be utilized. Everything, all the tissues in the body are generally at the same temperature, and therefore that water cannot stay cold. It has to be heated, and that will take energy. And obviously, imagine putting a cup of cold water in a pan. How much energy would you need to be able to get that water to 37 degrees? And when you think about it like that, it's actually quite a lot of energy. It's not a small amount of energy to be able to heat that water. So my advice, if you're trying to lose weight, is stay hydrated, drink water, and drink it as cold as you can, because that will take more energy to be able to heat the water, and that may have a benefit on your weight loss. So I hope you found that interesting. As always, eat well, stay healthy, and protect yourself, and I will see you soon for another video. Take care.